Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to a new type of video. This is just a quick little painting tutorial. Not really a tutorial, more of just like what to do when you don't know how to paint. Or not so much how to paint, but you don't know what to paint. You know the basics of painting. You're not super good at it, and you want to do something, but you're not really sure what. And that's kind of the point that I'm at right now. So I've got the basics down, but I'm not really sure what I wanted to paint today, and I've already tried to paint something on this canvas before. That's why it's got like all this weird color, all over it. But today I'm just like, I'm just kind of saying I'm just going to let the painting tell me what to do. And this is sort of an abstract technique. It's something that I've seen in certain videos where they just say, just kind of start painting and let the painting say what it's going to be. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. So right now I'm just kind of doing these weird little heart shapes, and I put some yellow and some green on, adding a little bit of the Prussian blue, but really it's nothing that means anything. It's not going to really matter in the eventual finished artwork. Right now it's just like getting ideas on the canvas so that maybe there'll be a shape or something that speaks to me later. And here we're starting to get a little bit of an outline of something. It's starting to look a little bit like a tree, so I'm just kind of leaning into that. A little bit of branches around the top, a little bit of a trunk there. But then also making sure to put green in the background and in the ground. Like, I don't want it to be too, a thing yet, in case I want to change my mind later. I hope none of you are wiping your screen there. There's not a scratch or a hair on your phone or your computer. That's actually brush hair that's embedded into the canvas right there. It'll come off later. Don't worry about it too much. I just don't want it to bother you. Just building it out, adding color, deciding what you want to do. Oh, doesn't this red looks nice and bright? It makes a good contrast against the dark background. Maybe this would be a good floor color. Good grass. Nice red grass. I've always been a fan of red grass and red plants. Even when I was a kid. I think it goes back to Dr. Seuss and the Lorax. But then, of course, I read Where the Wet Red Fern Grows, and then red plants made me sad for a while. Because I love dogs. But, red plants and blood. It's all part of life. It's all part of nature. It can make you sad, but it can also make you really happy. That's nice. And there's that hair. Get that on out of here. It won't be bothering us anymore. You can see what I've done here is I've taken a Budweiser box and just kind of ripped it up. I've got the top of the box over here, the nice outside glossy I'm using for a palette, and and flip it around with the cardboard, and it makes a great background for whatever you're painting on. These cardboard boxes that you get, so many people just throw them away, but there's 100 things you can use them for. 100 million things. We made a short film. Oh, Filthy and Free Publishing, the YouTube channel you're watching this on right now. Unless it's sometime in the future and you're watching this somewhere else, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But we made a short film. It was entered into some competitions. We won 4th place, which was really nice. Out of over 220 entries, 4th place. I couldn't have been happier. But in that film, oh, look at this tree. Look at this tree coming along now. Now it's got a little bit of the red grass reflecting off the trunk. We've got a nice dark sky. Let's put some shadow in this tree. Really start to darken it up along the sides. And then we're going to have a dark side. We want to kind of counteract that with a brightness. You know, you want your contrast, especially in like paintings like this. It's not realistic, you know. We're not going for realism. We're not going for the Bob Ross. It's got to look just like Alaska motif. This is more just kind of like an impressionistic. I've tried to explore a lot of different types of paintings in the past couple of weeks, because I feel like I was starting to do too much of stuff that was just the same thing. And that's not what you want. You want to be free to change it up. I did that Western painting. That was fun. And that Western painting was huge. It's a massive, massive piece. I wouldn't recommend that for novice painters. Your arms get tired. Look at this tree. All kinds of crazy stuff going on with it. It's almost getting muddy. I want to make sure it's still workable, still a legible piece. Alright, what now? What should we do next? Some more of that red. Point on the brush. Wipe it in. Some dots on here. Maybe it's an apple tree. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a tree with big fruits. Maybe not apples. Maybe they're grapefruits or peaches. Some yellow in there a little bit. Who knows? Cherry tree. Let's see. Maybe this is the one that George Washington didn't chop down. That's gotta be a apocryphal story, right? George Washington never chopped down a cherry tree. Who'd have remembered something like that? No child would tell you they cannot tell a lie. Trust me, I have 3 of them. Put a little bit of shadow on these. Some dark in there. Light's always coming from one direction. It's up to you to decide where that direction is. Most people like to do from left to right, and I guess I do too. But I like to change it up. Sometimes I'll do right to left. Sometimes I'll do back to front. Sometimes I like really cloudy days where there's just no light at all. It's really starting to look like something now. Let's bring this trunk down. Let's stretch it out. Make it look like a tree that's been here for a little while. A tree with life, with some roots that go down to the ground and maybe come up a little farther away. Roots stretch out. They don't just stay in one place. There's a great painting in Leonardo da Vinci's manuscript where he shows how every tree is a telephone pole. If you were to fold the branches up above the ground into a straight cylinder and the roots below the ground into a straight cylinder, it would be a completely equal cylinder from top to bottom, just like a telephone pole. Trees branch out just as much as they branch down. I think that's really cool. I've always really liked that. Let's add some grass in here. These little dots. And see, what we've got here is kind of an impressionistic idea of what a tree could be. Red grass, dark one side, light the other. It's not real, but it's pretty. And it doesn't matter if it's real. You're painting. It's not up to anybody else but you what's real and exists here. Put a branch here. It's right there. This whole separate little area. Give it some shadow. Some more paint. Sometimes you just need more. You use all that you have. You want to have all your paint on hand in case you need it. In any situation, it's important to have your paint ready. Heck, it's important to have your paint ready even if you don't plan on painting that day. What if an idea strikes you? You've got a half-finished piece of work sitting there. You want to be able to jump on it. Have that paint close by. Have it in your office or in your studio or your home office, wherever you spend your time. I'm fortunate enough that my office at home is large and I have a big backyard and a shed. And I can kind of paint all over the place, but if you're not near your paintings often, it's hard to make changes when you have that urge, when creativity strikes. More grass, a little darker. Give it some texture. Change it up. It's not just a flat surface. colors. Let's get some clouds in here. Take my titanium white. This is a big smudge of it. And then this time let's use a fan brush. A little bit of paint thinner. Maybe a little too much paint thinner. But that's okay. Like I said, we didn't even know what we were painting. 12 minutes ago, we had no idea what we were doing. So even if we mess all this up, who cares? No, it doesn't matter. As long as you have fun doing it. As long as you enjoy yourself. That's all that counts. Gotta love how that blue changes the color of the white as it goes up. I don't want to lose all the color, but just mix it in. Try to make this more uniform. Give it a texture, but give it something that's a little less abstract. It looks a little bit less like we're doing one of those pictures where you just put an apple on a table and paint a dark wall on one side and a bright wall on the other. For most things, that's not, I guess, what they call light-dark contrast practice. It's not really that big dramatic a change in a background from one side to the other. And there's no need to act like there should be. Thank you there. Now it's starting to look a little bit more like a sky. I'll tell you, beautiful thing about painting like this is that really, at any point, if I wanted to, I could just say, hey, I think I'm done. I think I'm good. It's up to you. It's up to you where you think that finished point is. And sometimes that means, is this what the painting wants to be? And sometimes that means, is this good enough for today? And it's okay to have things that are just good enough for today out there. Just because you finished a painting, or you finished painting that day, doesn't mean you can't go back to it. Doesn't mean you can't change it later. It doesn't mean you can't tweak it, add something here or there. And, nothing stopping you from taking a big can of black gesso and spilling the whole thing over it. Wiping it clean, starting fresh. Canvas can be a multitude of things. It never really stops being able to be something. We're starting to see a nice little picture here. I love painting trees. I love sitting in trees. I love talking to trees. Just watching them be there. Wondering, asking them what they've seen. And most trees, pretty much every tree you've ever met in your life, has a story. Oh, there's another hare. Let's get that out of here. Come on. When I got angry at this painting earlier, I told you before when it was all striped and blank, I had gotten mad at it. When I had gotten mad at it, it was one of the reasons I think I wasn't happy with what I was doing is because I was using a very cheap brush. When I had gotten mad at it, one of the things that I think that the reasons I was getting mad at it was because I was using a very cheap brush. And that brush shed. I don't mind that sometimes. And sometimes that can give a painting some texture and can give it some extra life that it wouldn't have otherwise. But here, especially when you're filming, make people want to scratch their phones. Some branches in this tree, why not? It's nice highlights on the trunk. I think we're so close to done. Let's make it pop. Let's really give your eyes something to look at. We'll take our cad yellow, and I said it earlier, maybe we should just put a little bit of yellow in here. Let's give it some real pretty flowers. Look at that. Now that's a tree. That's starting to be a tree. Roll it up, make it really pointy, some small dots in there, different depths, different, some of these are getting obscured by branches, some of them are farther away, we don't know. We don't care. Even in this dark area, we'll give it some bright shines through. Just a little bit more. Want to make sure that the light side definitely has more flowers and visible petals than everything else. Look at that. Now, I want to sign it in the yellow because I'll draw the eye away a little bit too much. So we'll just sign it in the Pthalo yellow-green. Same color as our bright petals here. And doing a little tattoo-style dot initials. And there we go. There's our tree.